Hi everyone, Indez here. Good morning to you. I'm having my coffee. And yesterday we just got the major patch notes for the version 3.1 of Diablo Immortal. And the reality was that I was gonna do this yesterday, but unfortunately I had a family problem. My grandpa had to go to the hospital, and once I got home, I was just very stressed, and I just wanted to go chill a bit, play the game, get your mind out of the stress of real life, because that's one of the perks of playing games, right? So I'm gonna bring it to you here, a summary but also a deep dive about the new patch notes, what you can expect, what you cannot, what we wanted and what we get, which I really feel like there is a big disconnect there when it comes to the game versus the player base. This is not a unique problem to Diablo Immortal. This happens all the freaking time, but I guess in the Diablo franchise, this happens more than others, right? With the Diablo 4 having a major rehaul in the pretty much the whole game is like the new expansion is almost a new game when it comes to the systems, and I feel like sooner or later, if Diablo Immortal wants to stop bleeding players, that's something that they will have to consider. But before I start, I want to make a disclaimer. I don't really like whining bullshit comments and people always complaining for everything. You go on the Reddit, you see your daily BG's matchmaking whining, and personally, I don't think that's constructive. Everyone knows it's a problem, but also at the same time, we can give suggestions. But at the end of the day, it comes to the developers to actually make significant changes to the system, and in a few things they've been trying. So let's not discredit all the effort that they do, but that also doesn't mean like everything is good, right? So if you see here on the 2024 roadmap, we had between July and September the World Quest Part 1 with the dungeon updates, new co-op mode, and a Curse Towers updates. And the major issue when it comes to roadmaps is like it builds such a high expectation on a player base that it is a very blurry line between transparency of sharing what's coming, and then when you share a roadmap, you kind of get stuck and people will hold you accountable to the promise that you made, that it's September, where is my dungeon updates or tower updates, right? So even though personally I like roadmaps, I feel like they are a pain in the ass, especially for the developers. Or if you worked in any project in any company, you know that there is the ideal world and there's the reality of the world. But in general, in the overall, I will say that roadmaps are still more positive than negative. But of course, whenever you're not gonna deliver in one or two of these items that were promised here, then it's gonna have a backlash and people are gonna complain, especially when they are probably like the two main contents. And also like dungeon is massive content for Diablo. That's what people do every day. So I don't really know what kind of updates are we getting. I just hope like it's gonna be like something meaningful and actually impactful for players, and not just like we just cut down short the animations of like whenever the fucking wizard goes to with Baal or Bale or whatever at the end, like the literally just cutting down on like on the wasting time animations, that if you're gonna spam like 10, 15, 100 dungeons, those like few seconds that yeah, they were interesting when it came to the storytelling in the beginning of the game. I really enjoyed it, but man, if you're just spamming dungeons, you just want the loot, man. You don't give a fuck about like reading the dialogue for the 10,000 time, like just at least give me a skip button or something. So that's something that I hope they probably gonna improve. So talking about what was promised, I'll make here an analogy that when you go to the McDonald's, for example, and you ask for a Big Mac menu with some Oreo and some nuggets. When then you open the bag and you look inside, what do you expect? You expect to have a Big Mac, Coke, fries, your McFlurry, and your nuggets, right? So whenever you invest into something, you expect something in return, right? So it can be money, it can be time. And here is exactly what happens. A lot of the backlash of this update is that you ask for a full Mac menu with a dessert and some nuggets. And well, then you just, when you open the bag, the guy in McDonald's just put the fries, the Oreos, and the nuggets, right? No Coke, no burger. Which is like like two of the main things that you were excited. Bro, dungeons for me not being on this patch, and I'm sure they're gonna come in the future. I'm sure there was like some struggle. It is like going to McDonald's and they say, "Hey, we don't have burgers. We only have salads," or "We don't even have burgers or salad. We don't have anything for you right now. You have to come later on in the day." So that, of course, is gonna let you with a big bittersweet taste in your mouth. I also saw like the content manager yesterday on the Diablo Immortal Discord trying to talk with the community. I think so. I think like this guy, even though he's new to the game, he's making an effort to be a bit more transparent. But also, again, transparency is like this blurry line that if you say too much, then people who's gonna screenshot you, and in 2 years they're gonna say, "Hey, you said this on Discord in 2024, and why didn't we still get it?" So just realize that the community manager is a bridge between players and the team that we probably didn't have, at least since I started to play, or it didn't feel like it, and now we do. And hopefully he can actually make a positive change for our feedback to be heard inside the team. And talking about what we actually want, I just gathered here a few bullet points that I got from the Discord, from the conversation, also from the Reddit. These are things that people have been asking for like the longest time, which I'm sure that here there's only a glimpse of the overall like ask for suggestions, because as the game keeps expanding, there are like more and more multiple types of players. You have like the person that only spams BGs, the person that only spams dungeons, the person that doesn't give a fuck and just logs in casually. He wants to see the new update, does the event, it walks around West March. As the game gets bigger, more types of player will come, so which gets like every update even harder to try to please everyone. But the reality is, like, if you're trying to please everyone, you're gonna please no one. So I feel like the game should have an approach to go to the core issues of the game and try to fix those. So then we can go later to a more surface level kind of change. And from this list here, for me, the biggest one, it is, bro, just get rid of the fucking lag, man. The lag on this game, it is ridiculous. When I was Immortal for those weeks, it was fucking terrible to play the game. Lagging all the time, constantly. And now that I'm Shadow, it is so much better. But still, if I have an Immortal guy on my party, it's just like such a lag fiesta. It is something urgent because it's literally unplayable at times. So fixing these for me should be the main priority, because it affects everyone. Doesn't matter what you do in the game, it affects everyone. And especially whenever you go and play other games. So I was playing the last season of Path of Exile, actually a fucking good one. The game is just seamless, man. It's just so responsive. And I just realized, man, I've been playing so much of Diablo Immortal, lagging all the time, that I actually forgot how playing a really good game feels like. So then we have other things, for example, the green items. It is such a pain in the ass. Bro, I've been playing for 5 months now. I can't understand how the hell you guys actually been playing for 2 years and farming every, what, 2 months new green items. It is so freaking annoying, man. So please just give us a better system that we can first farm it like quicker with the things that I could add, like the missing socket, or to change the color of the socket of my rings. I think like these ones are nice. And just let us upgrade like the CR level to the next one. I don't know. Something needs to be done, because it's becoming actually so boring for me that over time I'm enjoying less the game. And I'm a new player and I'm a fucking hardcore grinder. So I can only imagine like someone that plays just like 1 or 2 hours a day having to go and redo all the farm every difficulty. I think like that's very unrealistic for people to expect at this stage. So these are for me 2 examples of major change that actually will fix the core of the game. And then once you go like to the battleground map or the reset of the Rodin, like those things are already very specific, and they are not as groundbreaking change for the game that I feel like it needs to be called a major update. But what Blizzard think we want, it is more story. Well, story, it is pretty cool. Diablo games are always pleasing to do the story, but this will be done in what, like 30 minutes, and then you move on from it. So a lot of people, they don't even care about the story. But nevertheless, it is always a good addition to just keep continuing the story. And obviously, we got here the new game mode, Vanguard. This will be another thing to do. And thank God, because, well, there is not a lot to do in the game, right? It's not like you already are doing the part time or a full time job just by being able to complete all your weekly routines. So, adding one more system to go and farm, I think like was very, very necessary instead of fixing the core issues of the game. However, I'm not against for new things. New game modes are always exciting, new things to do. But the core issue is like if you just keep stacking up like things to do, then people will just get saturated because they are gonna be full of fear of missing out on rewards. And there's again another blurry line from like you have this good feeling of like you want to do all the content in the game daily and weekly because you don't want to miss out on the rewards. But the other side of the coin is that once you miss out on 2 3 days, you start having this feeling that you're falling behind, and then most of the times you stop giving a fuck about the game. So it happened to me in the past. I used to play this game like AFK Arena, and I logged on that game for like I don't know almost 2 years, right? And then there was one week that I was in India with my wife, and then I just forgot to log, and I didn't log for like 4 or 5 days. And then I just started realizing, like, okay, why the hell do I keep logging in a game that is not even bringing me more enjoyment or anything? And again, I was free to play also. I'm free to play in any mobile game. It's the way that I enjoy to play because it stretches my progression for a longer time. And also, I just like to try to outplay spenders with strategies and outplays. So that's just like a personal thing. If you spend money in the game, I couldn't care less. It doesn't bother me at all. But my point is, once you get out of the rat spinning wheel, right, that they put you, then you get like another perspective that's like, "Oh, wait, where am I really doing these?" And then most of the times you just realize that you're just like on this treadmill to chase rewards and to progress with a character or a game that you no longer care. So let's see how it's gonna be these new Vanguard game mode. It's like a dungeon that you're gonna go in parties, a co-op mode. You're gonna have new skills inside. You're also gonna have a new charm to leveling up. But I wondered, bro, you create a new game mode. Why don't you put a new resource material to just go and solve one of the core issues of the game? For example, I know that many of you don't play Diablo 4, but on Diablo 4, you have a new game mode that was launched, was called the Pit. And on the Pit, you actually get materials that then you can use to change the affix of your gear and upgrade it. So it is actually really nice. It's such a missing chance whenever like you add a new exciting game mode. Give it like a purpose. Yes, we're gonna have new Heliquary weapons affix dropping from this, which they also actually feel like really, really fucking good. There is one that creates like a armor breaker for like 30% for 8 seconds. Like, what the fuck? That will be broken, I'm sure. But I feel like it is just not enough, you know? It is just not enough. Gladly, they at least put it like some cool affix instead of like the trash ones that we get from Erevan and Abyss and Abyssal, right? So when it comes to game mode, I hope it's cool. I just feel like just add a bit more purpose for me to go and do that. Then we have the new legendary gems. Here, I'm actually pretty happy. As a free-to-play player, the one-star gem looks fucking awesome. The second star looks actually super nice for Frost Mage. And the fifth star, well, personally, I don't really care. So the way this 5-star works is like whenever you deal damage, you get like this buff on you. And every time you attack the target, you get these 5 stacks, and whenever the stacks are consumed, you're going to deal like extra damage. So people were theorizing, okay, if this works as Grace Set works with dots, will be extremely freaking broken for PvP, whereas now you have a gem that does the same as Grace Set, and you can just slot another set item to increase your damage. So if this gem actually works that well, it will be really good. When it comes to the attack speed, it's always nice, but I feel like this mechanic of like When it hits 5 times, it creates extra damage and it breaks the bandage. It is the key thing for PvP, but overall is a good gem for the PvE. And then of course there's like some positive things. Quality life changes on any game is always welcome, right? I don't think it's all about like expectations versus what we get. And these minor changes that yes, you're gonna improve your life in the game for a better direction, but it just doesn't give you that kick that we are actually getting a major patch. Even though we're getting a new game mode, I think that players are more saturated on the old problems of the game than actually wanting new things in the game. So these are, I feel like, where the disconnect is happening. So we're gonna have here a huge change that I don't know why it's not here since the beginning, but Abyssal finally is gonna drop the daily gems, so I can finally stop doing open world because my gear is at 30, and I can just go like with some random people to Abyssal, kill some mobs, and get some extra runes, answers, farm. Of course, my gray rune when I deliver, right? That NPC, bro, it is so trash, bro. When I see someone dropping from an NPC like a gold rune or even an orange rune, like it is, I just think that that guy probably won like the lottery. It is so low. I generally think that when you deliver the 10 absolute answers, it has a lower drop chance of like a rare rune than you actually get a rune in the open world or dungeons or the tower. And if I'm wrong, it feels that way. The best I got was like 1 or 2 blue runes in probably like 100 deliveries. It is just that bad. So I hope they boost a bit the runes drop chance even more, because this is not a place to go and farm runes. I'm sorry, but it's not. Go do anything else in the game and you're gonna have way better chances of actually getting a gold or a legendary rune. Then we had here, they made the Erawan parties harder. Does it really matter? Like, come on. Then we're gonna have here fading embers change. Pretty much you're just gonna be able to farm your fading embers way faster than before. And we're gonna have like some new boring events together with some old boring events. You already know how it is. I feel like when it comes to events, there was the one that I got like the most excited. It was the one that I had the lowest expectations, and I had actually such a blast was with the fishing one, because it was just a fun way to just fish. Like, change with the mechanic of the fishing skill, and the chat was just like very comical, right? Like, with a please, can I get some votes on my skin collection? Vote for vote, hashtag vote. It's just like it reminded me like of Instagram back in 2015, right? The follow for follow or something like that. It was like pretty funny to see. Then we also gonna get some UI changes. Pretty much it's just gonna be able to see your combat rating before you even enter. So thank you for not wasting like a few minutes of my life that I always had to go inside. I had to get one shot to then realize, oh, I can't do this because the CR is too high. So like this quality of life changes always a plus. We're gonna be able to now party kick members in the system, voting a bit different from the past. So if you played League of Legends, you know how the system works. But the biggest difference is like in the past, if you kicked someone for scratching his balls in the backline, you didn't get to the 4-man chest at the end of the dungeon, and now you do. So that's a big plus. And then they changed the battle pass. Instead of every week to reset, and if you imagine you went on vacation and you miss like 2 weeks, you will lose out on so much battle pass points. No, now it's just like first week you get 2,400 points, then the next week it gets increased and increased, and even if you skip like 3 or 4 weeks, you can always come back almost at the end of the battle pass and do all the 8,000 points or something that is required to fill up the battle pass. This one is a huge one to combat a lot of like the fear of missing out, and especially for alts. Even though I am a alt hater, because I just think like it is so boring, man. I know that a lot of people enjoy them, so big props for them. Again, one important thing, even if it's something that doesn't fit a part of a game that you really enjoy, just be happy that it also is going to make other people and other players life happy, because that will be a good overall net positive for the game and the community. Weekly trader now is going to be weekly. Woo! Finally, no more of fear of missing out on those daily crests on the ill trader. I think this is one of the very big changes that I am really happy for. You're gonna also be able to change your guild name, so you can go from the Pussycat Dolls to the Pussycat Dogs, right? The pet system, which is like, oh my god, bro, that system is it's something, huh? If you're a free to play player, bro, just get a savior pet and try to get lucky with lingering on ones, and you're done. Don't deal with the pet system. It is so convoluted, so complex for no freaking reason. But they are trying to improve the system. Now imagine that you're gonna have like 5 pets that you want to level up in just one click. You're gonna be able to level them up all at once. So again, stopping wasting players time is a plus. Also, there's gonna be like a conversion shard that whenever you end the pact with a pet, it's gonna be able to increase the quality of the skills of the pet, which I think that one is a very good change. So they said in the patch notes this is the first small iteration on the system to make it better. Hopefully they do, man. Pokemons are always such an exciting thing on the game. If you saw like on Pal World, people just love to have like Pokemons with weapons and all that survival and build the city. I just think like there's so much better things that they could have done with this pet system. They just added too much complexity that became boring. I was gonna do an in-depth guide on it, and I still might do, but now I saw the patch notes and I realized, okay, maybe I'll just delay these for a few weeks or months, and whenever like the new pet system comes out, I'll just do like the new in-depth guide of the pet system, and I can just focus my attention on doing other more relevant content for you guys to become stronger. Another change, the damage in the battleground is being reduced by 10%. People were complaining they were getting one-shotted. Don't worry, you are still gonna get one-shotted, but just instead of dying in zero point 0.1 second, now it's gonna be increased to 0.2. So don't worry about that. It's not gonna change a lot for you. If you're getting killed by a whale, you are still gonna be killed by a whale. Probably is gonna affect more your damage, but I still think that this is a good change. Even as a barb, which is supposed to be tanky, bro, if I didn't have Undying Rage, I'll be like a potato dropping on that BG all the time. You get stuck for 1 cc in like 2 seconds and you're dead. That's not like a good way to PvP. I'll probably like even add more, like maybe 20 or 30%, but it's like my personal opinion. It never feels good to be one-shotted because you don't have any outplay. Just like, oh, okay, nice. And then there was like other minor changes that no one cares. Like the skills of the BK, now they increase the font size, so now you are able to read it better, you know. It's just fun. Or you can actually now stack up to 9,999 wisps. What we want, fix the lag. What we get, 9,999 wisp cap. Just trying to have some fun. It is not a big deal, guys. At the end of the game, it's just a game. There are more important things in life, like the health of your family, the people that you care. So don't ruin your day just because you read some patch notes and you weren't happy with what you read. Just we are all here to have fun, to enjoy the game together. But if the game sucks, who gives a fuck? Just go play something else. I know that a lot of people are emotionally and financially invested on the game, which makes it harder to disconnect. But now you're old enough to value your money more than you were a kid, and especially value your time. So make the right decisions. If you still are enjoying the game, please continue. If you're not, just go play something else. This is not even hating on the game. This is a general gaming advice for any game you ever play. At least that's my philosophy. If you don't agree with it, it is fine by me. If you do, I think it'll be a better way to look at things. So with these boys, this is all for today. It is 7 a.m. in the morning. I'm recording these. My wife is still sleeping back there. That's why I got the curtain. And well, I wish I could have done this earlier, but well, life has its own ways. So I hope you have a great day. This is for now. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.